It's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Saturday, August 6th. So today we do have the moon in Scorpio energy going void, of course, at 7:24 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be locking into Sagittarius energy 12:39 p.m. So anytime that we're moving out of Scorpio energy and into Sag energy, it's kind of like we start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The Scorpio energy is always very dark, very deep, very probing, very transformative, always a funk. People always seem to get, angered and irritated and lose their shit in the Scorpio energy. We're in the darkness. We think everything is doom and gloom. And then bam, here comes the Sagittarius energy holding up a torch for us. There's finally, a light at the end of the tunnel. We see a new path. Our beliefs are changing. We're picking ourselves up. We're dusting ourselves off. There's an optimism, a confidence coming back because we can finally see the big picture. We kind of had to put our blinders on in order to focus in on the details of what's blocking us, what's really bothering us in the Scorpio energy. And then we just bust those blinders off and we start seeing why all of this is necessary, seeing that greater, grander picture that Sagittarius likes to focus on. So we are going to feel a lot lighter, a lot brighter, especially, afternoon-ish. But just keep in mind from about 7:30 a.m. to about 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that things are going to feel like crap. We're going to be unstable. We're going to be very emotional. There's going to be a lot of mental plane energy, a lot of chaos. It's never good when the moon is void, of course. We never want to make any decisions or commit to anything. We have to kind of rely on the fact that we're not sane, we're not thinking clearly, we're sure as hell not feeling clearly, and that we have to really wait until we lock into that next energy before things are going to make sense. So it's a semi-quiet day here today with only 6 different aspects. Fortunately / unfortunately, all 6 involve the moon. Now, also, just keep in mind that today we actually have the sun, still in Leo, heart and soul of the zodiac, in its place of power, paralleling, being in a parallel aspect with Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger, who is in Taurus energy, looking to really be productive and creating and giving birth to something new. Now, yes, progress is low and slow. Productivity is next to nothing, but this is all in preparation, a buildup, if you will, to the 8/8 Lionsgate portal. So the sun paralleling Mars kind of shines a bright light on where it is that we have to be a little bit stronger, first of all, in our discipline, our motivation, our inspiration. There's a lot of whiny Whitneys sitting around right now just complaining about life and not doing a damn thing to change it. Again, you hear me rant and rave all the time. Hopes and prayers and meditation and visualization. Not enough, people. You got to actually do the work to align with the vision and the dream. You actually have to do something here in this physical realm in order to create the space for this vision to actually manifest. And so you get all these whiny Whitney sitting around doing the poor old me victim mentality story. I don't know how that's going to solve anything, but quite frankly, every single time that we are on the cusp of making a major shift, a dramatic change, a huge transformation, such as the event that we're building up to this 8/8 portal, people start whining and complaining. There is a darkness before the dawn. There is a breakdown before a breakthrough. And I don't know why people resort to whining and complaining about their circumstances and putting themselves in the poor old woe is me type of narrative, because it ain't working for anybody. All you're doing is lowering your vibration and frequency, making it a less likely chance that you're able to jump the storyline, the timeline, the soul contracts when the Lionsgate portal comes. But nonetheless, some people want to learn the hard way. And if you are at that lower vibrational frequency and do not make the jump and there are no changes in your life, you will continue to revolve around the same old topics and themes, which means there's going to be a whole hell of a lot more time for you to sit around and whine and complain about your life that you're not doing nothing about. So the sun and Mars are highlighting for you where it is that, you know what? Your desires need to be strong enough in order for you to make the transformation and change. Where it is that you need to dig deep, find a new level of motivation within you. If you need to use your anger and frustration as a motivation, as a catalyst for you to light a fire under your ass to do what you need to do in order to make the change in your life, use it. But you know what? You got to start using your energy for good. So many of us sit around and choose to rip ourselves down. That ain't using the energy for good. That is literally, you're doing the dark force energy agenda's work for them, okay? They are wanting to rip you down and make you feel low so that you will stay in a revolvement state of paralysis. And you know what? A lot of people out there doing the dark force energy of work for them, right? Just tearing a new hole right out of themselves and then sit around, cry about why they feel depressed, why nothing changes, okay? We have to push ourselves to be better. You have to push yourself to want to change, to want to move, to want to improve. Nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody is coming to save you. This story, my friend, is about you saving yourself. So we have this, I'm going to say, intense energy in the background as the storyline progresses here today. But again, the main factor of the day is all of these moon aspects. And it starts with the moon still being in Scorpio energy, trining, making a very positive energy with Venus, who is in Cancer. We get this trine because Scorpio and Cancer energies are both water energies. Venus, of course, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure and money. She's in Cancer energy. Can't wait for her to move into Leo late next week, just hours before the full moon in Aquarius, because she's very sensitive in Cancer energy. She's very protective. She's very defensive. She's very lonely. She's very isolated. She's very detached. She puts on a good front. She's acting like the, tough guy, but inside she's dying and crying and melting inside. She feels like she needs to boss up and make some changes, especially where her home and family dynamics are concerned, because boundaries have been tested and just bulldozed altogether. And she says the words, I deserve better. I'm better than this. I value myself. I respect myself. But she doesn't have the actions to prove that. So there's a lot of energy just with Venus being in Cancer alone that is kind of making us wah, wah. And the moon in Scorpio, bossing up, right? Making this trine with Venus at least pulls us out of that wah, wah, and puts us in a more powerful position to actually walk the walk, talk the talk, to do something about the realizations that we've been having about our boundaries, about our worth, about our family dynamics. We have to do something about it. And in this particular aspect, we're starting to get down to the nitty-gritty on what it is that we actually want, need, and desire in our personal relationships to feel worthy, to feel valued, to feel respected, to feel like all of the energies that we pour into other people. One of the downfalls of Cancer energies, we go ahead, we try to take care of everybody else's wants, needs, and desires. We involve ourselves so deeply in other people's lives, only to distract ourselves from doing the work within ourselves and then have the audacity to actually have guilt and resentment towards the people that we love for all the time and energy that they suck out of us when they didn't ask us for anything. We interjected ourselves into their lives and then again had the audacity is at an all-time high right now, by the way, to actually blame other people for consuming our energy and leaving us with an unfilled cup. Now, whose problem is that? It sounds like a you problem. It sounds like a boundary problem. But the moon trining Venus right now is illuminating to all this. And once we can have these aha moments that really don't feel good, right? Sometimes Betty the bully got to come out and really, beat us down in order for us to get it. But what comes out of that is an empowerment. What comes out of that is a realization. What comes out of that is identifying what it is that we've been lacking, what it is we actually want, need, and desire, and therefore we are making progress. Now, the moon is going to bump into Jupiter in not the nicest way. This is where we're questioning our beliefs. This is where we are stuck in our own thoughts, our own emotions, blocking our growth, our improvement, our blessings. This is also kind of illuminating for us where it is that we feel insecure about ourselves, because again, we're going through a reinvention of self, a rebranding of self, if you will, and we have no freaking clue who it is that we are right now. Some of us may know who it is that we desire to be, but most of us know exactly who it is that we never want to be again. And honestly, it's better knowing who it is that you never want to be again than not even realizing that you shouldn't be that person ever again. So take the progress where progress is happening, okay? You need to use the negatives, if you will, as a framework in order to build in the positive. That's how we figure out what direction that we actually need to take. The moon trines Neptune. Again, a trine is because the Scorpio energy and the Pisces energy are both water signs. They blend together, they cleanse one another, they transform each other, and therefore there is a huge amount of healing. The moon trining Neptune means that our intuition is on point. We are gaining a vision. We are having a full embodiment of our dream. This is going to motivate us and inspire us to get focused, to get in alignment, mind, body, and soul, so that we can get to work in the physical realm and start building something that replicates the dreams that we hold in our inner realm. The moon is going to sextile Pluto, its ruler. This is the last aspect that the moon in Scorpio will be making before going void, before moving on into Sagittarius energy. This is a beautiful aspect because it means that the time that we have spent with the moon in Scorpio has been deeply transformative, that we will never be the same again, that we have a different understanding and perception, if you will, of the inner workings of our mental plane, of our emotions, of our memories, of our past. Having those profound aha moments is setting us up in the here and now to make different choices based off of our conscious efforts and understandings of our past, instead of letting that shadow self kind of muck over unconsciously the decisions, the choices, the path, the actions that we would have taken based off of our, let's call it, uneducated perception of our past experiences. This is when the moon goes void. This is when we are kind of shaky, all over the place, very unstable. Then the moon again moves into this Sagittarian energy. Midday, we will be feeling that shift. And the very first aspect that the moon in Sag makes is with Chiron. So this is showing us the big picture, right? Sagittarian energy, big picture, new belief system, more optimism, more confidence than we've had in ourselves over the last couple of days. But now we need to see the wounds and the triggers for what they are. This is where the Chiron energy comes in. And, you know, we would have been illuminated while the moon was in Scorpio of all of our triggers, of all of the things that are bothering us, of everything that is holding us back. But suddenly, now that we have a different understanding of events gone by and we have a different perception and wants, needs, and desires moving forward, we do have to take a good look at our triggers from a different standpoint. And the triggers that we are looking at right now is about belief. The belief in ourself, the belief in the universe, the belief in their dreams. We do have some reconstruction to do in our belief system and where it is in our intuition that we need to lean a little bit more inward to get away from the ego speaking fear into our dreams. The last aspect that we have here today is the moon in Sagittarius entering into the boxing ring, a square with Mercury, who again is in its place of power in Virgo. This is our heart and our head not being on the same page. A lot of the reason for this is because Sagittarius energy is big picture, big dream, big vision. While this Virgo energy is like, okay, but we need to focus on the details that actually make up that big picture, that big dream, that big vision. The Virgo energy needs the details to be perfect. We can zoom in. We need to, look at all the little tiny pieces that make up the big picture. While our emotions are saying, screw that. We're not thinking logically and practically. We're not focused on the small details. We're not getting caught up in the nitty gritty. We just need to attach our heart space to the big picture, to the big vision, to the big dream that we're excited about, that we're passionate about, that we're inspired about. Well, this is why our heart and our head aren't getting along right now, because our head needs us to stay in the game and think logically and practically on how we're going to piece all of these little details together to even have a glimpse of seeing this big dream, this big vision to actually come to life. So we are going to fight it out. And of course, with that sun paralleling to the Mars energy in the background, kind of illuminating to us where it is that we have to be stronger, where we have to be more disciplined, where we have to be more motivated and inspired to go after our passions and desires. There is an intensity here that our emotions are definitely going to magnify within us.